Hello, everyone. I'm Jesus, and welcome to the next episode of The Road to Old School MTG. In this episode, I'm going to open up the first two packages that I received from my round three wave of card purchases that I did towards my Erhnamgeddon deck. So here they are. I'm going to open them. I'm going to, after we open them, inspect them. I'm going to compare it to the listing, eBay listings where I purchased these from, just to make sure they coincide. I'm then going to check the deck list just to see what's remaining, and I will be doing my next purchase towards wave 4 of the final 10 cards of the for completing the Erhnamgeddon deck. And those 10 cards that are remaining are the most expensive ones. So I'll be starting off with one purchase uh, from those 10 cards today. Okay, so first, opening up these two packages. Let me share first the just a list of what these two packages should be, and then we'll open them up. So from here, delivered. So one of these, I believe this smaller one, is my fourth edition Burst of Paradise, and then the other one, my revised Soul Ring. All right, so let's open them up. Doing it this way so that it doesn't reveal any personal information, things like that. So fourth edition Birds of Paradise. Let's see. They've taped it, the envelope all across the border so that it's more, so that it's stronger, which is good. But then it's a little tricky for me to kind of open up. So there we go. But I do like that extra effort, right? So definitely makes it a little bit stronger. So the usual, the eBay receipt, and then the card is within that, right? So toward the page here. Oh, actually, it's not a receipt this time. Just an empty blank page. I guess just for extra support, which is I appreciate. But here is the card. Light played to moderately play, right? That's, I guess that's what they wrote, right? LPMP. So tape at the bottom and the sides just to make sure it doesn't wiggle around and fall out of the top loader, right? And it did come with a proper top loader, so I appreciate that. Well, like we were seeing in the other videos, some of them came with, you know, a different variation of a top loader. I don't know if it's even called a top loader. Okay, so then inside they put an extra piece of paper. I guess that's extra backing. Okay, so it's inside. Oh no, my mistake. It's an actual deck sleeve, right? So all right, so that was nice. So it came in a deck sleeve. Deck sleeve was inside the top loader. So like I like to do, put it on the side, towards the sides, double check it so no scratches, a little bit of dirt and things like that on the edges, but just a tiny bit. The borders look pretty good. So hopefully it can be appreciated there a little bit. The back, yeah, looks nice. Same thing, little dirt, things like that, but very tiny. Back looks really solid. So definitely light played to me, right? Let me compare to the listing for this one. So it was this one, 4th edition. You can tell it's 4th edition has the um, it has the 1995 date on it. Alpha Beta Unlimited Revised does not have that. Okay, so what was the condition they wrote? Birds of Paradise, moderately play, MP, right? So yeah, that's what they said. Yeah, and sleeve and top loader, yep, moderately play, and mainly they say look at the card for the condition, right? Yep, this is the one I got, and then with the really solid back. In fact, the photo makes it look a lot worse than it is in real life, right? So look at it, right, especially right on the back. The back here is like all the corners are really nice. So I'm just checking, maybe it's ink on it. A lot of people do that, right? Especially on the back, right? It weathers, right? It gets worn out, and then a lot of people back in the day, not so much now, because now it would be you would wreck the value if you did it knowingly. But back then, people and me included, I remember I used to do this. You would just black sharpie the edges a little bit to make it look nicer. Those cards are considered damaged, so they I don't know if technically you can play with them, right? I don't think people will notice too much, right? But I don't think you're allowed to play with them, right? Because the condition is damaged by that point, right? Even if it's perfectly fine, there's no creases other than that, or it's bent or anything, torn. That, to my understanding, that counts as damage. Sharpie, just purposely coloring it. So, right, that's why I was just comparing the photo that was taken from the listing to this, because this looks really nice. Right, so mentally, that's a nice consideration for me. So that way I consider whatever I see in terms of the listing, especially for the back. I know in real life it should be a bit better than how it actually looks on the photos, right? Assuming it has a big flash and it's zoomed in like that, right? To the naked eye, this looks pretty solid, right? So the camera is better than human vision, right? So this looks great. Yeah, so pretty happy with it. The price was $10 and then $1 shipping. Right, so here they wrote 12 on the side. I guess maybe that was just an estimate, but I'm happy with it. So I'm gonna take this. I bought these card sleeves from before. Right, I'll actually have penny sleeves also, right? So I think these are the kind that are wide enough where you can also put penny sleeves on them, right? Especially since I'm going to be going into the last 10 cards of the deck, which are the most expensive. So now, it's even more important that I double sleeve these things. So there it goes. 4th edition Birds of Paradise. Pretty happy with it. So, and then so far here's my deck. 44 cards. I have 6 cards in batch 3 of my purchases, which this is one of. Right, so 44, that'll make it to 50. Right? And then the final 10 cards, that's 60, so 44. 45 over here, I'll put it with the green. And then this should be the Soul Ring. From Revised, they put cardboard. You can see the edge out here, right? So white cardboard, I guess, is covering inside within the top loader, right? Because this one was a bit more expensive. Let me take a look at the listing for the Soul Ring. Oh, well, not that much. Soul Ring was $18. Well, let me share the screen before I open it. So this says near mint, right? So I expect a really solid looking card here. Although in the picture it seems a little weathering, right? Like little dirt. You know, dirt's not a big deal. It can actually. I've been researching how to clean it safely, clean cards, right? So the main thing is the just the condition itself, right? If there's any weathering of the actual card itself, the cardboard, right? And here it looked pretty good, right? Except here's I think that's where the flash grouped the most, right? So it'll probably be better, right? Plus it says near mint, 18 plus $4 shipping. So I paid well $3.56. Sometimes you see the prices on the package. This one didn't say. The other one did actually, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So just to confirm, right? Because it was almost $4 just for the shipping, right? All right. So here it is. Right. They also taped it up a lot, which I appreciate definitely. I do appreciate the extra cardboard. I'm assuming there's also a top loader inside, right? I wouldn't like it if that was instead of a top loader. Okay, and that may be it actually. I don't think there's a top loader inside this. Okay, it's a little hard to open up. Okay, see the card. Yep, it is in the top loader. Okay, so ring in the top loader inside this thing here. Well, oops, my mistake. It's not a traditional top loader. It's not like this one. The one that the Birds of Paradise came in is your more traditional one. Pretty strong. This is one of the Ultra Pro kind, like where it's not as strong. Compare this to this, right? But I mean, it did come in the extra cardboard, so I guess it all evens out. But definitely not a big fan of these, right? Definitely half the strength of these. But the main thing is the card itself. So, and then it came within a penny sleeve as well. So it said near mint. I would not consider this near mint. I would say this is light plate. And it definitely has dirt. Ooh, I see a scratch. So you can tell, well, maybe you can. Right there on my actual card, there's a scratch, right? But honestly, it's only noticeable. Oh, my mistake. I was gonna say it's only noticeable when I put in a certain angle, but not just from the face, I can see it. On the picture itself here, I cannot. Here doesn't have it. Right, so it's hard to tell if this is the exact same one that they use for this picture. Um, okay, um, pretty good quality, not near mint, right? But maybe I'm being too strict with my interpretation of the card condition ratings. No, yeah, actually, no, I don't think I am. This is not near mint. This is light played. It's hard to tell. Right? If I put it, looks fine, and honestly, it's a fine card. The back looks nice as well. Um, so I'm happy with it. I'm not ecstatic with it, but it'll do. Right? Definitely don't think the listing was correct. This is nowhere near mint. It's obvious it's not near mint. So let's just compare this again. So they wrote near mint, perfect, never played. This looks like it's been played. It's obviously been played. If you don't play with something, usually it doesn't have dirt on it, right? Because you stored it. Um, so usually, right? Not always, but usually. And then it has that scratch, right? If you never play with it, you probably didn't scratch it up either, right? So this is played. Another thing I noticed. Okay, I see it. Okay, no, that was accurate. Do you see that little mark between on where it says disability? It does have it on mine, so I just noticed that. I should did not notice that when I first purchased it, right? So if I had noticed that, maybe I wouldn't have gotten it. But it's there, so it's my fault. Uh, but once again, that's not near mint. So, but that was my fault in terms of I didn't catch that mark over this. I'm not sure what it is. If it's an ink mark, it looks like it's a combination. Like I'm just looking at it from the angle. Okay, so I mean it's fine. I think it's still for the money. I think, and it's a revised, so I think it's fine. But I think the rating, the way they described it, is way off. All right, but here it is, Soul Ring. I'm happy with it, mainly because it's a nice, decently nice Soul Ring, right? Not so much based off the based off the of the listing description. Okay, so one more, so 46. So let's compare now the remaining cards from wave 3, and then I'll start wave 4 today, and I'll explain wave 4 because it's going to be a little bit different. Okay, so quick recap. In the white were the basic lands. I already had all of those, right? So those just for my personal collection. But that's basically the only thing I had. Within this, right? I did have the Lano Worlds, but they weren't in the best condition, so I just bought some more. But the white were cards I already purchased. I mean, I already had, so it didn't cost me anything. Maybe like $5, $10 if you wanted to get these additional lands. Wave 1 was in the red cards here, right? Which was like a third of the cards, right? And they were the cheaper ones usually, right? So wave 1 was the 4 Erhnams, 4 Llanowar Elves, 3 Saros. I bought 4 though, just to have one for the sideboard. Usually there's one in the sideboard. And just to have the playset, might as well. 4 Disenchants, 4 Swords to Plowshares. I bought the 1 Pendlehaven for like $32. And the 1 Strip Mine. And then I bought the 3 Armageddons, right? So that was wave 1. I already got all those cards. Wave 2 was in the orange here. 3 Fellwar Stones, 4 Cities of Brass. I already got those. And then wave 3 is the where we're at right now. That's in the green, right? So I have purchased 3 Winter Orbs, 1 Soul Ring, which I just got, 2 Bursts of Paradise. So I got 1, the 4th edition one. I'm still missing the other one, which is the revised. Okay. So now for wave 4 is the 10 cards that are remaining. The 4 Icy Manipulators, 4 Land Tax, 2 Sylvan Libraries. Today I'm going to purchase 1 Icy Manipulator, and I'll explain why I'm purchasing only 1 and give you an example of uh, the just the differences in prices for this particular card. So first of all, initially I had estimated $90 for a decent looking Icy manipulator, which I was correct in general. Right? It can fluctuate. It can definitely be over 100 also for something decent, moderately played. But 90, I think I'm still okay with what what I had estimated before. All right, so then I'm gonna show you a card that's a nice manipulator that's 90, and then the one that I'm going to purchase right now. All right, so this was from before. Okay, so this is actually manipulator within that 90 range. Actually, between the total price and the shipping is a little bit over 100, 102. Um, between everything, right? It actually looks pretty good, right? So honestly, I was thinking about buying this particular one. Couple a little dirty at the sides, right? But I mean, perfectly fine. And the back definitely is where you see the condition of the card more, right? Right. The front is probably like this also, right? Except the front is white, so it doesn't show as much, right? But um, honestly, $90. This is a well 100. This is perfectly fine, right? And initially, I had thought of getting those kind of cards, right? Especially for the more expensive ones, the middle of the road type, like kind of like this one. Honestly, this is I think even a little bit better than middle of the road, right? So like I said, this is perfectly fine. Um, maybe if nobody takes it and I can't find anything better, I might even take it myself, right? Uh, but it's fine. And then one more thing, this is an unlimited IC manipulator, okay? IC manipulators were not in revised and they're not in 4 for 5, right? They weren't reprinted. They are in Ice Age, but the artwork is different, totally different, in fact, right? So it no longer qualifies for the old school rules of original art, right? So if I want an IC manipulator with the original art, I would have to get it from Alpha, Beta, or Unlimited, right? So, right, unless maybe I'm missing like a collector's edition, right? So a specialty uh, edition reprint, those tend to have gold borders, right? So it's possible, right? Because IC manipulator is a card that's been played a lot in a lot of very famous decks, right? So it's possible, but from what I was looking at, I'm looking at Unlimited as the cheapest version of this card that I can get, right? So considering it's unlimited, right? Might not revise. I don't actually. I don't even think I have any unlimited cards. My collection starts basically from revised. So I think for me personally, it's worth it to invest more, right? Because no matter what, I have to get unlimited IC manipulators. Uh, and then this is the one I am getting today. So this one is like $40 more, right? So almost, so basically 40% difference, right? They're both unlimited, right? So and then this is definitely not like perfect condition or anything, right? You see definitely a little dirtiness on the corners, which is fine. That's usual, right? So this is played condition, but the card itself looks fine, right? I don't notice any scratches, things like that. But what sold me more than anything was especially the back. The back looks really solid, right? A couple little nicks here and there, right? But like I said, it's played condition. But this would count as played, maybe lightly played, maybe I don't know. But it's nice. It's a very nice condition card, right? Especially considering it's an iconic card here. Okay, here you can see a little bit more maybe scratches, things like that. But honestly, like I said, that's normal wear and tear for a card that's been used, right? So from the front, you can't really see it, right? That's more of a surface from the sheen that's put on the top layer, right? So it's not really you know, I don't think it reached the cardboard, right? But basically it's not noticeable unless you like put in a certain light. Just looking at the front looks very nice. So then I have to consider, is this version, the one that I'm thinking of right here, worth the 40% price difference than this one, right? Especially considering my my situation, I'm going to be playing with these cards, right? This is not an investment per se, and I'm definitely not going to keep it, buy it, and then put it on the shelf or display it, right? It's meant to be played. That's what I'm buying them for. So, but I do envision myself being careful with my cards, right? They're always going to be sleeved. Like I said, I'm going to put extra penny sleeves inside these, assuming they fit, which I think they do. These are the kinds that should be the kind that lets an additional penny sleeve fit within this outside sleeve. Um, so with that, with the stipulation that I'll be careful, that I'll take care of the cards, and I don't see the cards losing any value in terms of me wearing them out, right? That's what the sleeves are for, right? The only way they can wear out really is from folding it, right? And a lot of people do that, right? I see them playing and then like they hold the card and they like fold it like that, right? So I've never been that kind of player. I hold the cards lightly, even unsleeved, right? So especially then with this, right? I'll be very careful. When I shuffle, I'll be careful as well. So this is my decision may be different than yours. You might opt for this one, and like I said, and if nothing else better pops up within the price that I am willing to pay, maybe I might even get this one because it's a perfectly fine card. Um, right. So the estimate that I gave of 90-ish, honestly, that's a little low, but you can get stuff for around that, right? So if I was off, I wasn't off by much, but like I said, middle of the road stuff, right? So now, since I have to get an unlimited icy manipulator, not a revised, right, or not a fourth, right? I think it is, for me personally, it is worth the extra investment to get a better condition one, right? And I'm not getting like a mint one, right? Unless like something pops up that's cheap, right? Which I doubt. Probably 150, maybe the highest I go for one icy manipulator, right? And that they definitely can go higher than this unlimited, right? I was seeing them for graded, right, with the slab with the grade, right? They can go for over 500. I've seen it, right? So, right, but I'm not gonna do that, right? Because I'm not gonna get anything that's graded because I intend to play with, right? You can't play with the graded cards; they're already in a very strong protective case. Those are meant as investments, as collectibles, right? So I'm gonna purchase this right now. Like I said, I'm going to be um, the holding these cards, any card in this deck lightly. Especially now that I'm getting into these more expensive cards, right? So even though, it's kind of like a little bit of an investment, um, investment idea for me, right? So as the cards get older and older, these are, you know, even the revised stuff is already going up higher and higher, because there's not much uh, left, right? There's not much of Alpha Beta Unlimited left, right? So revised then is the next set that's racing up in price by a lot. But this is unlimited, right? Because it wasn't reprinted in revised or any other sets, while still keeping the original art plus original frame. I have seen this original art but different frame. But that still doesn't qualify, right? It has to be both original art and original frame. For that, from what I'm noticing, unlimited is what I have to get. All right, so this is the one I'm gonna get between $35 or 140 just for this one card. So that one card is basically more than all the red that I have bought from one shot. 140 maybe, right? It's basically more than all for land taxes, right? That I'm gonna, right? Assuming I'm correct with this pricing, right? So it's a big, decently chunky investment considering I didn't think I was gonna go this hardcore, right? But now that I see the deck coming to fruition um, and I'm opting, usually for better condition cards, I figure might as well, right? And like I said, I'm not like looking for mint stuff. At least for maybe for the cheaper stuff where I can get it at something that's mint cheaper, I'll go for that definitely. But for this, a mint will definitely be like several $100s, right? That's way too much. But an extra $40 to go from this to that, right? Especially you can see a more on the back from that to that is worth the extra investment, at least for me, right? But uh, you would have to make that decision on your own, right? For whatever deck you're making. Always look at your options, see the price ranges that you can get things for, and how far back you can go for legal reprints. Certain cards you can't go that far, right? Like in this case. So since that's the case, maybe it's just worth it to put a little bit more and get something better because it's within the Alpha Beta Unlimited um, original set, right? So, and like I said, I didn't have any unlimited. I don't think I have any unlimited cards, so this would be a really cool one. All right, so let me buy it now, and then I stop sharing here only because to avoid personal information stuff. Okay, so with tax, almost $10, so like almost 150. Right, my full investment in this card, this one card, right? So it's definitely by far the most expensive, right? The second, the most expensive card that I've purchased so far for this deck, but a single card was the Pendelhaven. I spent like 31 and change for that one. Then um, the strip mine, which I already have, $12. But actually, I just spent I think $20 on a one for the revised Birds of Paradise. Right, I'm still waiting for that one. Um, so that would be then the next one. That's the most expensive after Pendelhaven, the revised Birds of Paradise, which I'll be getting soon, hopefully. But that's gonna pale in 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 comparison to this final waves. And actually, that reminded me. I'm just checking all the right details. So for this final fourth wave, I'll be doing it in increments, right? So it'll be wave 4.1, wave 4.2, 4.3, right? Because just like you saw, we just um, one card. I just spent $150. There it is. My order's in. So 150 for this one card, right? So, and I figured I wasn't gonna do a that wouldn't cut for me. It wouldn't qualify as round four, and then for just one card, right? So all 10 will be round four. But 4.1. So this is 4.1 and 4.2. Maybe I'll get two or three cards, right? Maybe another um, icy manipulator, right? But it'll be in smaller chunks because the investment is a lot higher now, especially the icy manipulators, right? So it'll be smaller purchases for these final ones, and also less frequent, right? Because I now have to really wait for better deals, better conditions, right? These are definitely these last cards are worth that little bit of extra investment, I think. So it'll this final wave will take a little longer because of the price, right? Especially the asset manipulators. for what I think I'm going for, I was off the my original price by estimate by a good 30, 40, maybe even 50%. Right, that's a lot. So for those four ices, I thought I was gonna spend around 400. I might spend, I'll probably definitely spend 500, maybe even 600 for those four. Right, so that's a 50% difference. Right, so you know, so especially considering that I have to be wary of my uh, of just spending without care. Right, I have to take care. I have to wait for the right listing, and right, so it'll take a bit, but little by little we're gonna get there. Right, so 46 cards, four more from round three. I just made one more purchase for round 4.1, the most expensive card to date. 150, almost 150 total investment in that one card. Um, right, so we're getting towards the finish line here. But once I have it, I'm really raring to go. Right, to start playing. I'm already researching where to play. I've been joining some Facebook groups that do online playing. I've also been looking for in-person playing. There's one particular group, right? I've asked to join. I haven't received a response yet. Maybe they're just not taking new members at the moment because of COVID. That would be understandable. But I'm just looking for options online. Any of you guys interested in playing? Once I have this deck built, right? Maybe if you find recording it, right? Maybe I could take um, the volume, right? Turn off the volume, right? And I'll just do a play-by-play, right? So whatever you're comfortable with in terms of anybody online watching, right? But it'll still be a bit until I get the full thing going, right? And then based off me having the deck completed and then playing, then I'll go to the next thing, which will be building a sideboard, right? I've neglected that because the sideboard is depending on what you play against, right? So that's a general sideboard definitely, but I just wanted my full attention to the 60 card deck. I'll play some games, and then that'll inform me of what the sideboard will be. Okay, but that's much later. First, it's just finishing off this deck here. All right, so we're gonna leave it up to there for today. Thank you for joining me here one more time.